Hello and welcome to the news from Bahrain International. I am Aisha Ibrahim. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, visited the Royal Bahrain Air Force (RBAF) in the presence of the BDF Commander-in-Chief Field Marshal Sheikh Khalifa bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, the National Security Advisor of the Royal Guard Commander Lieutenant General His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and the Commander of the Royal Guard Special Force Colonel His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa. Upon arrival to Isa Air Base, His Majesty the King was received by the commander of the RBAF and the senior RBAF officers. His Majesty the King was briefed on the duties and roles of the RBAF and plans to continue providing it with the latest weapon systems, which are characterized by its high levels, as well as developing its weapons and facilities to raise the capabilities of the RBAF within the framework of strengthening the capabilities, weapons and units of the BDF. His Majesty King Hamad praised the efforts made by the RBAF personnel and their competence, combat readiness and skills, noting their collaboration with other BDF commands to perform their duties to defend Bahrain, its gains, its security and its people. His Majesty also commended the continuous cooperation with other countries and partners to contribute to the security of the region and international peace. His Majesty requested senior RBAF officers to convey his greetings and appreciation to all officers and non-commissioned officers and weapon unit members, their different work locations, and wish them all continued success. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, received at Isa Air Base the former chairman of Pakistan's Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee, General Ihsan Ul Haq, accompanied by the National Guard Commander, General His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Isa Al Khalifa, to greet His Majesty upon his visit to the kingdom. His Majesty the King welcomed the former chairman and praised the solid historical ties between the two countries, highlighting the progress and development of bilateral cooperation in various sectors, including military and defense. In recognition for their efforts of the former chairman in strengthening military and defense cooperation with Bahrain, His Majesty the King conferred upon him the Order of Bahrain. For his part, General Ihsan Ul Haq expressed thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King for the medal, commending His Majesty's significant role and efforts in developing Bahraini-Pakistani relations in all fields. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa issued a circular announcing the date of the holiday for the Hijri New Year 1445. According to the circular, the Kingdom's ministries and public institutions will be closed on Muharram 1st of the year 1445, which falls on Wednesday, July 19th. The National Guard Commander General His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Isa Al Khalifa received the former chairman of the Pakistan's Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee, General Ihsan Ul Haq, on the occasion of his visit to Bahrain. During the meeting, the National Guard Commander welcomed the former chairman, affirming the deep-rooted fraternal relations between Bahrain and Pakistan. For his part, the former chairman expressed thanks and appreciation to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed for the generous hospitality and the keenness to develop bilateral cooperation levels. The Speaker of the Council of Representatives, Ahmed Limsalem, and the Chairman of the Shura Council, Ali Al-Saleh, praised the new human rights achievement of the Kingdom of Bahrain, according to the Human Rights and Democracy Report issued annually by the British Foreign and Commonwealth. They attributed the steady progress of human rights in the Kingdom of Bahrain to the royal directives and the care of His Majesty the King, with the support and follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. They hailed Bahrain's well-established traditions and firm practices in a state that advocates the rule of the law and institutions, tolerance and coexistence. They also commended the concerted efforts made by all state institutions and civil societies to further promote Bahrain's human rights record and continue the march of achievement and progress in this vital sector, which represents a priority for the kingdom. The Attorney General Dr. Ali Al-Buainain received the Advocate of the Family and Child Prosecution and the Director of the Public Prosecutions Initiative for Social Welfare, CARE, Fahad Al-Rumehi, who submitted the initiative's third semi-annual periodic report. The report evaluated the initiative during the first half of this year, highlighting the indicators that measure the achievements and its goals within the range of target groups. According to the report, the initiative recovered a total of 52 cases among children, women and men, highlighting the results that have been achieved in educational services, health, psychological, social and developmental care, which were provided. The Attorney General praised the efforts exerted to carry out the CARE initiative, which is the first of its kind in the region. Under the patronage of the Minister of Oil and Environment Affairs, Special Envoy for Climate Affairs and Acting CEO of the Supreme Council for the Environment SCE, Dr. Mohammed bin Mbarak bin Daina, the International Fund for Animal Welfare, IFAW, organized a workshop titled Biodiversity, Climate Change and Nature-Based Solutions in cooperation with the CEE. Representatives from 16 countries from the Middle East and North Africa participated in the workshop to discuss positive and permanent solutions to climate change. The workshop focused on developing cooperation between countries in the Middle East and North Africa to achieve a mutual agreement or decision related to nature-based solutions that the parties can adopt during their participation in COP28. Dr. bin Daina praised the organization of this workshop, which embodies Bahrain's commitment to reach zero neutrality by 2060 and its relentless efforts to adapt and mitigate the effects of climate change based on the foundations of sustainable development that support Bahrain's economic vision 2030. For his part, the climate change advisor at the IFAW, Simon Addison, praised the organization of this workshop, noting the permanent cooperation and coordination between the SCE and the IFAW in Bahrain. VAT Bahrain was able to provide the hotel sector with qualified human cadres that support the sector as one of the vital sectors driving the national tourism activity. VATL enjoys a distinguished international reputation through its academic, scientific and theoretical programs that qualified students to acquire the necessary expertise over a period of 2 years. The hotels operating in the Kingdom of Bahrain have succeeded in promoting Bahrain by providing the best services and features and have contributed to attracting large numbers of tourists. Today, the sector offers vacancies and quality for young national energies who contribute to the progress and development for the local tourism industry. The activities of the Lowe's Festival concluded in the first edition, which witnessed a large public attendance by citizens, residents and visitors of the Kingdom of Bahrain. More in this report.
After 2 busy weeks of activities related to the tree rooted in the land of the Kingdom of Bahrain, the curtain fell on the first edition of the Lowe's Festival, which in its first edition this year recorded a large attendance by citizens, residents and visitors of the Kingdom of Bahrain. In the flower garden located in Abdaya, the festival highlighted the Bahraini fruit and its varieties as part of the popular heritage, as well as introducing the processing industries of Lowe's fruits, creating an important platform for introducing and marketing the Bahraini product, as well as promoting areas of creativity, innovation and opportunities for entrepreneurs. The festival highlighted the capabilities of the people of Bahrain in the field of processing industries for the Bahraini products and fruit especially, to make them exportable products. In view of the success achieved by the festival, the Ministry of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture announced the addition of the festival to the list of annual events in the kingdom and the development of an integrated plan for a number of marketing festivals for the Bahrain fruit during the coming period.
During the first regular session of the 6th legislative term, the Shura Council's Financial and Economic Affairs Committee, chaired by Khalid Hussein Al-Masqati, completed 8 reports of decree by law, draft laws and proposals, including a draft law approving the state general budget for the fiscal years 2023 and 2024, the state's final account and the Future Generations Reserve Fund. The committee completed all the topics referred to it during the session in 24 meetings, while the reports submitted by the committee to the Office of the Council included 3 decrees by law, 3 draft laws and 2 reports, one of which is on the state's consolidated final account for the fiscal year ending on December 31st, 2021, and a performance report on the implementation of the state general budget for the fiscal year 2021. During the first session of the 6th legislative term, the Foreign Affairs, Defense and National Security Committee, chaired by Ali Mohammed Al-Rumaihi, referred to the Shura Council Bureau 9 draft laws and 1 decree law. The committee discussed during the 11th meeting held by the committee in the first session the decree law number 45 of 2022, approving the amendment of some provisions of the Unified Customs System law for the countries of the Cooperation Council for the Arab States of the Gulf, and a draft law approving the statute of the International Council of Dates. While it discussed the draft law amending the Code of Criminal Procedures in Article 127 bis and a draft law to abolish Article 353 of the Penal Code, in addition to 3 draft laws ratifying agreements between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the government of Turkmenistan and Japan and others regarding cooperation in civil exploration and the use of the Moon and Mars, comets and asteroids for peaceful purposes. The President of the National Institution for Human Rights, NIHR, Ali Ahmed Al-Dirazi, commended the appreciation of His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of the role played by the NIHR Council of Commissioners and the tasks it performs for the development, promotion and protection of human rights. The NIHR welcomed the report issued by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office on the removal of Bahrain from the list of countries classified as priority countries for human rights after it was classified among the most advanced countries in the region in the field of human rights reforms during the past years. The NIHR affirmed that this achievement would not have been possible without Bahrain's full commitment to all international conventions and laws related to human rights, thanks to His Majesty's continuous directives to support and develop the field of human rights, as well as the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to implement national initiatives and programs. The NIHR believes that the reports praised the citizens' participation in decision-making through the Shura and Representatives Councils, the active participation of women in the National March, and the Kingdom's efforts and global humanitarian initiatives in spreading the principles and concepts of tolerance and peace reflects the reality of human rights in Bahrain. The Ministry of Works affirms that the number of users of its electronic services reached 16,741 users through 23 services through the Ministry's website or the national portal in the first half of this year. The various centers and clubs for children and young people of the Ministry of Social Development witnessed a high turnout and attendance during the months of June and July. More in this report.
Since the start of the summer vacation, youth centers and children clubs in the Kingdom of Bahrain began to receive various young people to participate in the various activities and events offered by these centers, through which several targeted activities presented in a safe and fun educational and recreational environment in a way that contributes to the development of the creative skills of the Bahraini youth and kids. These various centers and clubs contribute to raising the cultural and cognitive awareness of children and young adults, and to enhancing their artistic, sports, scientific, and innovative talents, in addition to developing their social skills and creative thinking. The Ministry of Social Development provided these targeted programs and activities in all clubs in the kingdom, including a variety of crafts, cultural and entertainment activities, including drawing, coloring, handicrafts, theatrical performances, artistic and sports workshops, and creativity and innovation programs.
The Information in E-Government Authority IGA announced the launch of a national survey aimed at measuring education indicators in Bahrain. The survey will be conducted by IGA over a 2-week period in collaboration with Silla Gulf. The survey is in line with efforts to provide national statistics and indicators that support the regional and international position of the country, particularly with regard to the Human Capital Index. The survey's findings will help reinforce Bahrain's rank for the Human Capital Index within the UN Government Survey 2024. The survey adheres to UNESCO standards and will be carried out on a random sample of 10,000 individuals from citizens and residents aged between 15 years and above. The survey process will be confidential, and the data collected will be analyzed to generate indicators relevant to the survey's objectives without disclosing the respondents' information. The IGA encourages the participants to actively engage with the survey, as it will play a vital role in the Kingdom's plans and national programs.